Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a very beautiful day here. So it's another beautiful day. Welcome on board. So tomorrow I was not able to live stream from my small office here. But at least, I tried coming live at least so that we can get some of things that at least, at least to come live and we analyze, have small analysis towards the market and see what we were expecting to get from this market. And yesterday was so good, and I think also we managed to know the direction of the market, especially specifically for the gold, where it was actually to end up to. We'll also be checking some of things because today is on Wednesday, and if you look at your calendar so well, you realize that today is the main day. Today is the day that we are going to wait for the Fed to react once the rate decisions. And as you can see, the dollar is really losing it, and this is really crazy. So let's start here. Well, how is the performance for the dollar? Because you see, dollar is really performing so bad. The dollar is performing so bad, and I think that is the same thing we said yesterday, that we need a savior here. This market might actually need a savior, someone to save the price of the dollar. It's really collapsing, and we did not hear Trump talking about this, but this is very serious now. Dollar has been losing it. I think the strength, let's just look at this. I think it is the worst performing currency right now, and that's why you can see it is pushing. But you can see, although it's just losing it, the JPY is also losing the strength. But this is really crazy. Now, who is really going to save the price of the dollar? Because right now you can see it has pushed the prices for gold all the way to the new time high of 52.93. We have pushed the prices of the gold all the way to 52.93. So is the Fed really going to come up with something today? Because today, as we expect this rate, let's see, are we really going to get a surprise from this? This is really important. This is really important. Today today is Wednesday, right? So around 10 p.m., Fed is expected to maintain the interest rate decisions, which is to 3.75%. And for those who are new here, once you see this interest rate, for example, they bring it here to become at least 4%, then at least that is going to strengthen the dollar a little bit. And I think that will be taking it to around October 29th, where this rate were actually 4%. But if you look carefully, they have been actually cutting this interest rate from the way, let's see, last year actually it was around 4.5%, maintain 4.45% for a very long time, after now cutting to 4.5%, and then all the way to 4%, and then for 3.75%. And you can see after that the dollar is really not performing so good. I know they really want to take this probably maybe to 5% or 2%. Another thing that Trump was saying is that maybe it is coming a time when the US will not pay taxes at all, and I think that was crazy. If this is really going to happen, I don't know whether that is really possible. But you can see how really these things are really happening here, and dollar is indeed just losing it. The current price of dollar right or USD of the gold right now is actually hitting 5,300. So I want to let me check something here. Let's see. I want us to see this. So remember what happened yesterday? The market reversed. For those who are live, we analyzed that. The market just went a little bit down before proceeding to move on the upper side. And that is the exact thing that you are waiting to see happening in this market. That is the same exact thing that you are waiting to see from the market. Now, what are really people expecting from this market, or to get from this market in long term? Now, as you can see from this market right here, this is what you are expecting right here. You can see also people are really expecting the prices. Now everything is increasing, and I think people are betting even for more prices, more and more and more prices. I think 55 again now, because the prices we are in at 53. Now people are really betting for 5,500. So this is the next price that people are really betting to, that this the price are really going to be moving here. But the next step where we might be moving, maybe it is 53.20. This is where we have high demand, people placing their orders here. But you can see the still volume is still increasing. Let me just expand this so that you can see. And this is another case that we are really getting from the market, that people are really adjusting their positions. And people are saying, we are placing orders and we are betting that this market is going to proceed to move all the way up, and you can see all the way to 6,000. So in JP Morgan predicting that the price of the gold will move to 5,000, then they just turned that to 5,400. That was their prediction. But the market already has decided to hit even more of that, which is absolutely 5,300 as we speak right now. This is the price gold is really hitting right now, 5,300, and that is really crazy. I think the wind dollar is really falling. That is something else. Now we're going to look at what is the next move for this, because right now when the London session is opening and the prices are really at 5,300, because at least after the New York session very early in the morning we're expecting these prices to move up, and by now we were expecting to see at least the prices falling down and correcting this big move that is really happening here. So, and I think Trump, I was following on Twitter, and I think Trump is not really that concerned about the dollar that is losing here. The commodities, also the precious metal like silver, is really gaining so fast. So this is really indeed crazy, especially for those people who are trading gold or these currencies. Now if you look at currencies, I know this is a major issue that we really have to talk to about JPY and dollar, because they are driving the whole market crazy right now. So the biggest information that you can have in you right now is about those two currencies. Now when I look so well on the Euro USD, you see all the pairs that actually then good dollar is the quote. You can see how really they are performing, but I think USD JPY is really performing at least a small reverse, although we just decided to hit 152, almost 151. At least it's recovering, because at least the JPY, it's at least recovering a little bit. Now what is really happening to the price of Euro USD? I'm looking for Euro USD here. Euro USD has actually hit all this high. Forget about this was our teaching last night. Look at this. This is actually a very big move. So you can see we have more than 4,000 pips, more than 4,000. That is more than 400 piece movement in then just 1 week. This is because of the weakening dollar. So our main pairs to check right now is these two, Japanese yen and this pair, which is JPY and the dollar, because that is what is making this market to move in a very crazy way, just like this. Now what is the next move? Because now you can see even after the Euro USD move to 1.2, let's see whether it has visited this area before. It is really going to know. This is a very big recovery, and you can see printing these candles within like 2 weeks. That's a very big achievement from this market. Now this market is really, I want to see the stream, because this market is being pushed all the way up. That is weekly, and let's move to daily. You can see now the price of a euro, the euro USD, had moved all the way to the highs of extreme levels right there. Let's see whether we can get a pattern on where this next move is really going to happen, or just some shift. In case probably you are trending euro USD, I'm going to delete. Let me delete all the drawings so that we can have something fresh, and then we'll move to the gold. I know gold right now is trending in a very crazy way. What do you see here? What do you see here? Of course, you can see, number one, what we notice is that number one, the prices of euro USD is really moving up, and you can see just from actually, do you know there is this time, and I think how many were trending the euros USD when actually moved below this? I was trending at this time. This was actually 2022. This is 2022, around 2021. So I was trending this drop. That is the 2022. But you can see also we have this big move that happened here from 1.01 all the way to the top that we have here. Some of the gap that was created by this market on the highest time frame has never been recovered. So sometimes you might be waiting for some gap to be filled, especially like this time, and you're really going to move it. You know, the reason the market is really moving and creating higher volatility these days, there is high liquidity in the market, is because so many people are actually venturing into the forex market, giving it opportunities, and that's why many others are really being placed in the forex market. And now the market, of course, is going to behave differently. People are really buying and pushing the market higher prices, and that's why you have all these things being different. For example, this actually and to be filled. But let's start the analysis from this point here. What do we notice? At least this was filled here because the market made a reversal here. This was really perfect. Another one perfect here. Now we got this market creating highs, as you can see, from this point here. Also another one here. Then we got all these prices moving from all the way to this place. Now if we end to choose any opportunity from now, where this market can actually reverse to is around this corner here, which is this place, which is around here. See this region here. I'll tell you the price. I'll give you the price right now. I'll give you the price. So that is what you're waiting to see. But I'll tell you fundamentally on what we expect, because you can do your analysis and they just ignore what is really happening to the US dollar. But I'm really expecting to see the Fed acting on this scenario, because the dollar will actually lose it at the end of it. But let's see what we can expect this market to do, even after making this big move without a pullback. Of course, after this, we just expect at least this market to just do the at least some of a pullback all the way at least to this place. You can see here. So if you use, for example, a Fibonacci, that is Fibonacci retracement, let's see what we get from this market here. That is the euro USD. So once we finish this, we are going to move to the euro gold. We are going to move to the prices of gold. So if you take this here and drop all the way to the top, you are getting the prices just the same place where we have this gap here. So we have all the top. That is where I can place this market to come to, in case now this market start moving down. Let me place something else here. I want to see. Okay, we will be checking also the euro USD in futures market to see where the many orders are being placed and where people are really predicting. But right now you can be very sure that in the futures market, people are really saying, you know, the euro USD is really going to be moving up. And I think the number one reason is because of the weakening in dollar. So those are the main forecasts that we really have to be following, especially today. Now, also remember the FOMC meeting that will be held today. We are going to be, make sure that you follow that at 10 p.m. Paul, we are going to hear about the interview is going to, you know, the interview is going to be receiving from media stations. I know the question that will be asked, what are the measures you're going to take to control the falling dollar that is really going to be falling, right? The inflation are right, but the dollar is really falling. That is the most important thing that you're going to listen tonight. So if I take the volume to see where people have placed so many orders here, I'm going to take this. So let's see the area that we have identified here, whether it is valid or the market is really going to be moving. First of all, I want to highlight to see where we have, let me see total. See total is right here. So you can see this is the area that so many people actually bought around 1.18. That is the best price, and where we are placed this under, the market might not really come to this place. So that is one of the things that really can happen to this market. Number one, you can have this station here, this market stationary here, and then the other point that we're going to mark into this market is this zone around this place here. Okay, so those are the areas that we're really going to mark. So okay, I forgot to write something that's not really correct, so let me return this here where we have this point, and let me click this. So we are driving to see where the price is really going to reverse, and now we are going to identify when. But specifically after tonight, that is when we can have a perfect signal to know if we are going to sell. But in case something happens tonight, I think that is going to be very important. Yeah, so I wanted to place that one. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So it's actually the zone here where we have 72, 134. A lot of orders take place at that zone, so I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in delta. So if you don't know what I'm doing, you can check one of my videos that I taught about this thing. Now what do we see here? 5 6. Yeah, this is the zone. We will see where we have this high here, and you can see the market is actually operating above this zone, which means there is likelihood for this market now to revisit here, which is this price, is this area here. Of course, this market has to come to this zone, so you can be sure of that. This is 1.186. 1.186. That's around that is about 120 pips. Those are about 120 pips, around 120 pips there. So this movement. So now what this market is really going to do, number one, this gap has not been filled here. You can see a really big gap here, and of course this market can sell all the way to this area here, but once it touches this area, of course it's going to move to there where we have this black line. It means the POC, this point of control. This market is going to touch those regions. That is what you can really be sure of. So the market can be coming to these areas here, but this is really going to be, and today you're going to see the market slowing down because of news that will be waiting ahead. So we are going to wait and see what is really going to be happening. So a market becoming this way and also this way now before we resume to the upper side of the dollar strength. So that is what I expect from the Euro USD. The price is at least to keep, but remember this is a daily time frame, so we can be expecting to be getting that from the market. On the lower time frame, this is what we get on the 4-hour time frame. This is our forecast now. I'm waiting to see this candle closing at least below here, which is at least 1.1966 as we proceed to move on the other side. So is it likely that this market is really going to move this way? Yeah, the market might be actually be falling. The although this slowness, the buyers are still slowing down here. And I think the reason you're seeing this slowing here is because the buyers and sellers, people who have orders are holding, and there are a lot of things that the market is really going to slow down until we get the result for the rate that are really coming up from the Fed. And that's why you're going to see this candle behaving just like this. But if it's any statement, Trump ni mtu wa kuropokwa. Trump anaweza ropokwa anytime and they say something. And then you're going to see the market actually reacting from this. But I think, hata kama we ni ndaya and mnagani, even if you are kind of a dying person, or maybe you're any criminal uskiangi, he has to do something here. And I think he's going to do something. This market is really going to fall right here. But at least you can see the market is selling, but it's only that it's slow. The reason now we see this slowness is because now the market becomes slower as we anticipate for the coming news that we are waiting to see from the market being released. So that is what normally happens on this Euro USD. So that is my expectations, but I will not prefer for you now to do anything right now, because the prices, because of the news that we are really expecting today. So, and we are in a very critical point right now. So we just make sure that in case you have some orders that we are really entering from the market, you make sure that you are very careful with those orders, right? Be very careful with those orders. Petron Raha, good morning. How are you doing? Mimi niko sawa sawa. I'm doing good here. Carlos, good morning. Hi, how are you doing? Good morning. So we are resuming this to trend. So it's an amazing day. That is what we're really getting here. So observe this candle. If it's going to close here, but you can see all these candles are really closing in below this. But of course, this market, you can see these are small rejection here, and this matters a lot. So these are the areas that you really have to draw, and just know once this market touches this area here, there were so many buyers who bought from this area here. So this market, once it drops, this is really going to like move again. And now if you are going to draw from this, then of course the prices, let me show you. Let me take this seriously. Yeah, so around here, that is I think where you are going to see around, let's say 1.197. When this prices drops here, you're going to see the prices jumping up again, like that you can see from these candles that we have here. So once it touches 1.19, it moves up. But once you see a breakout happening in this market, expect the prices to drop all the way to 1.18 very fast. All right. Yeah, so I'll be teaching you all that matters, but that is what is really going to be happening on the side of the Euro USD, like the way you can see around this area. Now look at this. Look at what is going to happen once this market touches here. Look, let's see. Let me even expand this so that I can show you this. Let me expand this. I want you to see how this market, once it touches this, is really going to start to try move up again. Yeah, but if we're going to break this, the market is really going to move very fast all the way to 1.18. That is the region that you are waiting to see from that market right there. So those information are the one that like scalpers can use, because they are very small, like this Euro USD moving with just small pips, like where you can see it has already touched around 1.197, and then we back to 100. So those are 10 pip movement, and I think they are very useful, especially to the the scalpers. They are useful to scalpers, those who are really scalping from the market. So if you're watching this, let me just know in the chat how are you doing there, and also where are you watching us from, and what are you trading today on a trending? Are you still trading gold or tuang? Because we are going to move to the prices of the gold and see what the reaction are going to be getting, because gold is already touching, we are at 52.82. is back. So we are going to check also on the prices of the gold. But right now, I just want to see how these prices is really going to react towards this zone. I've drawn here, this area here. You can see there's a rejection. How the prices is trying to break that and moving up. But what I'm saying is once we break this region that you see here, then of course the prices are going to move up. But I think people are really removing orders here. I don't know why. Yeah, I think that means that people when placed buy orders, they're removing the prices are all across that area here. But let's observe so that you know what I'm talking about here. Do you see that the price is touching here and really going back? That is the one thing I'm talking about. Prices touching that. We'll come back to the Euro USD. Let's check another pair on what is really happening to the prices. Let's see on the futures market what are the expectations for the Euro USD at the end of the month, or what they're expecting from this. Also, the prices for the Euro USD is expected to move up at the end of the month. But let's see. Let me just check this clearly. Of course, we have already touched 1.1205. 105, 575, 575. This is becoming small and expensive. All right. Okay, this is amazing. That is amazing. Allow me to check some orders that I entered here. That is great. That is amazing. So look at this rejection. So we are talking about this now. We are going to move to the price of dollar or gold. How is really gold performing? Because you see, I'm going to open another tab here so that we can leave this running. Yeah, but anytime we can get breakout now from that market, that is the Euro USD. Yeah, and I'm expecting that at least maybe at the end of the day, maybe when we get the news today. Apologies. That was actually the electric. That was the power issue. Now, did you see what has actually happened to this one, which is the Euro USD? Just look at this. This is what I was talking about. Even if it is just 10 pips movement, then of course you can expect this reversal to just happen here. But I don't think this is really going to last, because once this market would be touching this again, the market is really going to move all the way down. That's really Euro USD is going to move all the way down. All right. Someone is asking me to check the US30. That is Priscilla. How are you doing? Barrel Gifts. How are you doing? Welcome. This is your first time to be here. Welcome. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Welcome. That is what you say here. Welcome. Welcome so much. Royal name. That is the time you are coming in. Is okay. Welcome. Now you see, this is now the Euro USD that we're talking about. We'll be checking as well on the US30, the performance and what we expect when the New York session opens. So this is really going to be amazing. But for now, you can just expect at least the Euro USD maybe to go back to 1.2, and then of course, we are going to be handing down. Golden Zabi, good morning too. How are you doing there? Amazing. So let's check what is really happening to the. So what is happening to the prices of gold? What is happening to the prices of gold? There's some information I got here from X. Peter Shelf just won, and a financial crisis is coming that will make 2008 look like peanut. Why do you think gold and silver are skyrocketing? They're just going up. They're telling us that the crash is imminent. Most people have no idea what is really coming up. Is that what you're really getting here? So that is crazy. I think I'm not really going to release this issue of the power as affecting me right now, but that I really don't like that. So let's keep moving on this until at least we get some clues on what is it. There are lots of things really happening to the market, and I think this is the most important time to be a trend. I think other days has been very cool. If you have been trending something like if you have been trading when the Trump was imposing tariffs to other countries like China, then that is not a thing. Whatever happening right now, that is the thing. What is really happening right now is the thing. You see, now let's check on the gold prices, because you can see we are at 52.91. What is really happening? And there's something that I said concerning this issue for the this one. You see, the current price that we have right now for the gold is around, let's see, 0.5 here is approximately 53. That is approximately 53 here. So that means that we are really going to push this all the way to 53.40 something. So the prices of the gold are still continuing to move up. So the prices of gold still skyrocketing and moving up in this way. So you can see also people are moving their orders far away, all the way to 6,000. And yesterday I told you that buying from 50, 80s, that was not really a good idea. We wait for the prices to see moving down. And I think yesterday before the day ends, I think the price of the gold moved all the way down. And I think for those who are here, if you got that opportunity, I think that was a very nice opportunity for you to buy gold at that time, because now the prices are really going to continue moving up. But this is a caution that I'm going to give you right now. If you're still entering the prices of gold, if you're still buying from, let's just forget a little bit about this, because I know this small move is going to happen here, then probably you get a market moving down. If you're still buying the prices of gold, there's some information that you really have to know here. If you're really going to buy massive, say someone will say the prices of gold. If I tell you the prices of gold from January has been moving up, every day we are creating new highs. Last year the market was creating a highs. Then sometimes you may be tempted to do what? To either sell your properties and invest your money to buy the prices of the paper gold. The paper gold is very expensive and you can lose a lot on that. That is not the same as the physical gold that we normally buy, because sometimes the physical gold you can stay with it for a long time, but on this paper it is very volatile and there's so much risk when we just compare it with that. And that's why, if let's check on these things before now we move to look at this move. This is the monthly time frame. This is monthly time frame. This is 160 pips that we made the other day, plus 200. Let's make that around 300 pips movement that we make. Look at this big movement that deal gold has been moving. So since 1927 price that we really got here, you can see the massive prices of the gold that we have been getting, it moving from all straight like this. And of course, when you see the market moving sharp like this, especially for the gold, just know the farther to go. It's the same thing. The higher you take something, for example, if you throw something up, or maybe the more you take something very up, the more when it falls, it's really going to fall and crash so badly, and the higher chances that you're going to be hurt. So when this market start coming down, it's going to hurt so many people. It's really going to hurt so many people here, because on the monthly time frame, the market all this month, you can see almost like 2 years now we are really been moving up. These are almost 20 something candles here. If you look at this, so this makes it to be around 2 years, the market moving up and up and up. I've been trading all this move. I know this could have been good investment. Probably if you bought this and you end a very good broker, that could have been the best investment now. But if you look at these prices on the monthly time frame, let's use even a simple indicator here to tell us the prices. Do you know we are at which extreme? We are a stream of 95.64%. This is a stream. This is another extreme level. So once you see the market doing this is extreme level, and is very cautious. You have to be very cautious here, especially if you're a long-term investor for this one, the gold prices, because anytime we get information that confirms that it is going to strengthen the price of dollar long term, people start gaining confidence with the economy, especially the US and all that, then we can get a very good correction. And the correction that is going to happen here, you can get the gold correcting that $300 down, and gold can just do that probably even in 1 day. So that's crazy. So this movement that you see here, 5,300, you can wake up tomorrow and see the prices at 43, almost $1,000 here. And with the 0.01 lot size, this is micro lot, the minimum you can use. That's a lot of money as well, but that is really good. So I'm just doing this to just bring a caution to you, that we remember where we are right now, in case maybe you are trending there. So anytime we are looking for the opportunities in this market, we are looking for short term. In case we are selling, we are looking for short term opportunities, like day trending. That is the best thing. Day trending, because you can wake up in the morning and you see how the prices are really doing. But if you see the lower prices, I'm not saying that you just buy anytime you see the market coming back, because sometimes we might be getting this correction, and that is the mistake so many people are really going to do. Once you see the gold prices like reversing and making correction from the market on the highest time frame, like for example, let's say the price goes all the way to 49, 89, and then you buy. the price continues to move. You see the price is at 48, you buy. The price goes all the way to 45, you buy. But the price keep dipping. So this is the mistake, and that's why I think we normally lose a lot of money every time, because the market is dipping and we continue to buy more dip and start losing a lot of money. So the next thing is we are going to now know when is the right time now to know that this is the time now to sell from the market. That is going to be the most important thing. So observe this keenly. We are going to be following on that, because that time is coming. At least we get a correction before probably we continue moving on the upper side, because already we are on the extreme levels. So that's a question I wanted to just give you, the highest time frame. You be very careful with that, as we are traders, you understand. Now let's move to our time frame here, which is the daily time frame, and see what we are really getting here. So from this point here, so we understand one thing, that people are really keeping to buy this silver and gold. Precious metals are really becoming of high demand, because central banks and funds, people really buying gold and dollar losing value. All these are contributing to the price of gold gaining more value from the market, and that is what we are really getting from this market. But since we achieved this target here of 46 on the daily time frame here, we have not really gotten any correction. But I want us to look in terms of the candles so that we can move into more details of this. Let's see. I want to dig deep into the candles so that you can see at least a correction that we can get on the S market. That is what I want. What is possible? What is a possible way? Where is this market heading to? You can start there. Now this is very simple. This is very simple. Of course, the reason you see there's a gap here, let's use some high CT ones. So forget about this. You can see also in the daily time frame, and that's why I expect a reversal from this day. So expect this market to move down from 53 where we are right now. So we at the market has already, we got 53. So listen to me carefully. We are going to move down, right? We are going to move down. Expect that anytime. Expect this market to move down anytime. I think towards the end of this, expect the market to move 51 something, or maybe to around 5,000. So expect $100 down before 100 up. So if you are still buying right now, make sure that you know what you are doing, because the market have high chances of selling right now than the buying, right? So that is the first thing you need to know. We have more chances of selling than buying from this market right now. We are on the stream on the daily. Of course, daily is where you can actually trade like today and tomorrow. So forget about the monthly. Monthly is coming. The correction for the monthly is coming, and that is really going to be very big. So allow me to extend this and now deep into the gold. Number one, I've already said the gold price is really going to sell, so be prepared for that. So when we touch around 53 again, I'm going to sell. When we touch 53, because I know I have at least some $100 down. That is what you're really going to be getting from this market. So that is going to be amazing. Now, what is really happening to this? The reason you see we have a gap here, and this candle was created around 26th of the month. That is yesterday, but one. We end a gap here because this candle, after moving out of this, after breaking this, you see we end a gap. This is a gap. These two different types of gap that can be created on the market. Number one, a gap that opens after the weekend. That is one gap, and the other gap is created is where the candle moves so fast. That is an ICT language. So these are two different types of gap. Although some of these gaps actually are also the market has come to there to just fill those gaps as well. These gaps that you see here, the market, the price is actually the market is trading all the time, 24/7. It's only that the market is closed over the weekend for us. And that's why you see the market, when it opens, you open with a very big gap right here. Right now we are 46.68. After closing from 46.16, the market opened at 46.64. So this is a gap that was being created, and that's why you see there's a gap here. The reason there's no gap around this area here is because the candle that we moved here was filled, as well as you can see this candle here. Now I expect another one, at least. You see there is no candle that was on the other side here, so this is not really considered as a full gap, because also this market and visiting this area here. Now you really need to understand, I know for those who use ICT, they understand a valid gap that is being created into the market, how it just look like. But now after this, so we can say this market has not really retraced back just like this. You see, for example, when this market started moving from this point all the way here, we got at least, let's see whether this is 50% or 65% from all the way to this place here. At least got 68% of Fibonacci around here. Then the market continued to move up. I think that was really amazing from that market. Then of course the market ended to move, and there is a gap that was created here to fill that slightly. Now we gathered another movement that really happened. The market went back to fill again a small gap that was created here. Now look at this. This is now, if you really want to know where this market is going to end up to, then we take this all the way up here, and I'm telling you 53 is the mark that I'm expecting to see this market. So number one, we can use a Fibonacci. We just take it from here. So this is where we are starting from. So we just find the possibilities for this market, and we're going to find why that zone and why is this zone. So we're going to be looking at different things around this area here. So this is just number one. So number one, on the higher time frame, this market possibility, let's say for example to come back to this zone, we're going to see whether this is valid, because retracement is not enough in this case. So it's not really enough. So let's say that's area here, and more I say at this region here. If you ask me, I'll talk about this area here. So see, between here and this area here, which is more valid for us to have that entry. So that's according. So we just have used one here, right? Just used one. Number two is actually today is the interest rate decision. So this area is going to be very vital today because of the news that you are going to be waiting for. So also I said about that, I'm not going to repeat again. Let me hand something here. Let me check something here on options features. On option features around 78 here, I'm focusing around 50.35. So do we have 50.30 something? So this is number 2 of my confirmation that I'm putting in into this market. This is 50.35. 50.35 is located around this area here. So this is a zone. So that's number 2. Number 2, we can use 2 volumes here to see the areas that are very vital, especially where the market can move very fast or slow. So we are going to use the market from, let's say, from this top end to 53. The reason I'm talking about 53 is because I think this market actually might correct from that zone. So we have this area here. Number 1, there are some areas where we cannot buy in case this market comes to those areas. So let me use those areas let me highlight those areas that you cannot really enter the market from. Number 1 is going to be where we have highlighted this price, which is 5,003. That's not a good entry point. that we cannot really buy from that zone here. And I think there are so many orders that have been placed around 50.73. I think that is where the market was, and many people place many buy on down around those zones here. Now around this area here, so it's not a 51.40 area here from 41.50 all the way to 5,100. That is not a good entry point until 5,100. So if you're planning to buy in between either 51.30, when you see these prices dropping, that is not a good news. So make sure that you don't do that mistake. We're waiting now to see. I'm now going to highlight now all these areas are actually good, except 50, 27, 55,000. So let me highlight again whether this region that you have highlighted, this is between 49.65.70 and 48.98, whether this is a very good entry point or 5,000. So that is the region that we have, which are best entries point that we have from this. So on the daily time frame, and remember this can take, today was on Wednesday, remember this can happen maybe at the end of the week. So the best price I can have from this market, the reason I'm checking this is because this is where we have the POC, that means the point of control, and sometimes the market has to visit this area here before now we continue to move up around this area here. But sometimes this area, because so many people place on the here, market tends to manipulate this region. The market can actually keep moving towards the downside. So most of the time I really fear the point of control, that is the POC. And that's why now I have this region here. So remember where we are. Remember this is now confirmed number 2. We just confirmed this with Fibonacci retracement, so this region here. So this puts us to the buying point in case you're planning to buy when this market comes to. Is it possible this market to come to this region 48.84? That's possible and very easy from 53. But I know this is, remember this is not for today or maybe tomorrow. This is for the swing trading. We are going also to highlight the areas where we can expect we are going even to scalp right now. So we're just moving slow by slow on this one. So I think now the market might be visiting in this area. So in case maybe you are planning to do what? In case you are planning to buy the gold, number 1, these areas of the POC, number 1, we are going to get a small here. So you see this place around here when the market is really going to feel, let's see, for example, this looked a gap, but not really 100% on gap here. We got a rejection, but also a momentum around this area. So I don't really like this area here, but how I know is that once this market will be touching this, let's say, no, that's not the area here. No, that's not the area. So 5,000, 49.65, around 49.65. That is at least 49.65. That's going to be a very good entry point as well. But when this market comes to this region, because I know before we touch these areas, so many orders have changed. I'll also be checking on the Sierra chart to see where we have so many orders being placed in terms of pending orders. But you can see around 50.35, which is located around 50.35, which is still located here, slightly down here, where we got this Remember what do we call the name of where the market actually gains more momentum, where people place money orders, pushing the market all the way up. And you can see these orders that were placed here for the buy orders are the one that pushed this market to move very fast on the upper side around this area here. So that is my observation from this point. That is my observation from this point. And because now we have the POC here, once the market now drops all the way to 50.69, now we'll be starting to think, because already we'll be very close to this area here. Things are really going to change very fast. That's why I was talking about the highest time frame, and that is the monthly time frame, where we might be getting a reversal. Don't forget about those things. These are things that can happen next month or the coming month. Yeah, because today we're on the 28th. So this is for swing trading, in case you are planning either to buy gold for the long term, right? So that is the areas that we are talking about in this case. Now, but remember, gold can just do this in just few hours and then we are down. So let's slowly this and see what we have right here. So this is, remember, these are the zones to be targeting long term. But don't forget about, we have some few gaps here. So if we are going to move to the lowest time frame, so that we can consider this as let me see on the 4-hour time frame, if we are on the extreme levels as well, we are up, the market is up, and I think we are not yet. So if you really consider this, let's say 50, let's say around this zone here, so that's a sign of rejection. So you see now on the lowest time frame, if you are really going to analyze and see the areas where we expect the market to come to, we are not going to look on where we checked now. We are really going to start from this zone here, and this market moved on well on the lowest time frame, that is 4-hour time frame. That's why I want us to understand this so well. That's why I want us to understand this so well, until we now move to scalping to utilize the smallest time frame. So this is helping everyone who is here, right? This stuff is very nice, but at least when you analyze the highest time frame, daily time frame, monthly time frame, you don't need to go back there. You don't need to go back there again. Of course, you don't need to go back there. So on this one, I'm going to go to week. Okay, so we are going to change that one so that I can see clearly what we expect from this market here. Shows that is around 52.06. So the market can expect it coming to 52.06. So again, around here, expecting 50. This, let's see whether this gap has to be filled, because I don't think so. 52.06 is right here, and this is not even 50% of Fibonacci, unless this market moves up, let's say even for 54. That is when we are going to have this region of 52.05. If they move to 54, which is 100 up, I'm going to see. I don't think on the lowest time frame we are not yet to. The market might keep moving small, just small, but let's say even 53.20 before now we get back this, because still we have the momentum. But we're going to move to 1-hour time frame and align the candles. This stuff's boring, but still we are going to get it. We are going to get it. So we are scaling in, we are scaling down. Small details, small details. So the Euro USD is stuck here, and I said we are going to get anytime now after this movement, we are going to get this market breaking this zone, and once we break this zone, might be ending here, and it's going to be very, very fast. Okay, so make sure that you check on that. That is the line that we drew here when the market here saying is going to move slightly up, but this market is going to break at this zone here and moves all the way fast to 1.19. That is around 80 pips movement that is going to happen to the Euro USD. Okay. Moteki Israel, you are great. Keep up. Thank you so much. We are cracking these things to see what we have here for the nice entry. So that is not all. That is not really all. That is not all around this area here. So let's move to 1 hour time frame so that we can observe how the market is really moving, because that is just the same thing that is happening here. So this was really perfect, but you can just look at this. I think that we have a gap to fill here around 51.32. The market has to move back. I think we must move back, and this candle that is around this area here, which is around opened at 12. So in the next 30 minutes this candle is really going to be closing. And now what can you do next? We just wait for the next candle, because this candle, once it is touching here, you see where we are, 52.70. 52.70. This market is going to just relax. It's going to move back. So expect. So you cannot sell them because you have seen this candle. So these are some of small tricks that you have to know. I want us to look at this. That market is really going to move up and to 80s. It's going to move to 80s. So you wait for this candle to close. You wait for the next candle to open. If this market closes slightly below 80, that is when this candle closes below 80, it's a confirmation that indeed we are moving down. So you prepare for the entry. This is 1 hour, and I cannot move less than 1 hour from now. So this is a confirmation that we have. And why are we going to move? We're going to move slightly below 51. All right, going to move slightly below 51. That can be 52 or this zone here. So that can be around this area, 51.73. That is the zone that you can be expecting at least this market to touch. I don't want to confuse you a lot, but at least we can find, allow me to find something here. Definitely that is what I'm expecting. Definitely. Now we have this zone here, the first one to be visited. Yeah. So this is 52.40. So you make sure that you mark those ones. You have marked those ones, then just know what is really going to happen here. I know there's a fear, but remember what I've said, this market going to 80s. So, and it's very easy to know how it's really going to happen. But now if you really want to know this market is going to down, is just to close below this candle, this last candle that you see here, has to close below that one. So this candle has to close below this one, and once this market closes below that, then we know that indeed that market is going to move down. So that is what I'm expecting to get from the gold side if we close slightly below this candle. But if this candle is going to form and move back to 53 and closes above there in the next 30 minutes, then of course there's some changes that are going to happen. You cannot really enter the market from that. So don't just enter blindly until you get a confirmation that the market is going back. So our entry is not yet confirmed there, because you can see the market is going back to 80s, and I think that is the last price I expect this candle to close. So I don't want to get a rejection to once and downside, because I know so many people bought when this market crossed 68. I want to see this candle closing down here, so that when next opens, either it's at 80, we can sell from that point, right? That is great. That is great. That is great. That is great. So that is what I'm expecting from the gold side. We have checked on the highest time frame. We have checked on the highest time frame. We started with the monthly time frame. We have seen, number one, the market is really on the extreme levels, and you have to be very cautious on that, especially if you are holding your trends for long. I know there's some people been holding like 1 month or 2. You have to be very careful on that if you bought early, unless maybe you bought at 3,000, 4,000 there, but the prices are really going to move back. Although the demand is there, of course, the market, there are some people going to sell. They are very smart in these things. Can sell so that they can buy. You get liquidated of the retail traders to be liquidated so that they can buy low. That is what normally can happen in these things. That is what can happen. So you have to be very cautious about that. On the daily time frame as well, we need a confirmation for the candle, the same thing that you are waiting to see from this market. So this is a Euro USD. So Euro USD, of course, I seen once you see what happened here. For those who are watching this, I already told you once we cross this line, expect the market to just go back here. And those are the small moves that you can actually use to make money on the market. But what I'm telling you right now, again, after even this one, is that when this market touches this, expect it to move back all the way to 1.198. And those actually will be around 80 pips movement that the market is going to make from here. So you might have seen this and decided to really buy, targeting probably all the way to 1.2 something here. But something is going to happen here. The market is still going to drop down. So once we touch this and the market moves past this, then of course it's going to be very fast once we touch these areas. So that is the Euro USD that we were analyzing, and so something like that. So go on, mark this on the lower time frame, that is 1 hour time frame. Wait for this confirmation candle to close slightly below 81, and then you can find your entry point of a sell, at least targeting 52.38, and then we touch 58.32. Then we are going now to observe another and look for another entry and buy entry. But we are going again to check on the highest time frame, that can be daily time frame, so that we can see if this market really this market closed here or is really going down. So we can now start changing positions, but you can start now. You need to analyze from the highest time frame moving to the lowest time frame. You start the entries from the lowest time frame moving the other way around. So all of them are useful time frames. So that's how I normally use it. And I want you to see how they really work so well. Simple as that. Simple as that. So now our next target saying is Euro USD, and it's really going to break this zone that we send here. So expect any time to see the price breaking all the way down. That is a move. So someone was asking me to check on the US30. What is happening to your US30? So I want to bring this difference. This is what you have to know about the US30 and the Nasdaq. Nasdaq and the US30. You're seeing how the US30 is not really moving that fast compared to the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is really moving very fast compared to this. And actually Nasdaq has it decided to hit, not decision. Actually we got 2,600. That is the Nasdaq, and it's trading at 26,163 right now as we speak. There's difference between Nasdaq, of course, and the US30, but the main difference here is just one. All right, let's just highlight this so that you know why they are moving. There are actually some people say Nasdaq and the US they are supposed to move together. Like for example, where the Nasdaq has created 26,163, we're expecting the US30 to create at least 50,000 and above. Right now, remember what is really happening now. That's why you have to know about the economy. Now, right now, there is demand for the tech industries, and that's why you see also the silver is rising, because there's demand for the silver that is happening, both the silver because of the tech industries, AI and all that. Now, because now this industry are really growing, specifically also the AI tech and tech industries are really growing very fast. And remember, Nasdaq has more of these tech industries. So when these tech industries are really growing, of course, you expect what rise to raise the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is of course going to move high. Sometimes I also check how the Nasdaq is moving and how the silver is moving, because there's some, it's really the correlation is really that far, but not really that far, but at least you can use to that to know the correlations, because these tech industries, they need silver. So if they're really growing, of course you expect what to grow, you expect the silver demand even to just continue moving up. That's why you see silver is moving up, and also the Nasdaq is really moving up. So on the Nasdaq side, we can say these are the tech industries that are really performing so good, right? Let me 1 minute. Yeah. So actually, Nasdaq is the one that have Nasdaq is more reactive, and there's one thing that you have to know. If you are planning to sell Nasdaq, before even we touch on the US, that if you're planning to sell Nasdaq, unless maybe you are predicting or you know that the recession is going to take place, right? Don't just sell Nasdaq, because the US stock market keep rising almost all the time. So if you're planning to sell Nasdaq, that is going to be a big problem for you. So all the time you see the Nasdaq price is down, then that is a really good opportunity for you to buy. Nasdaq has good companies like Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, all these good companies, Google, and all these companies. Remember, US people, every time maybe they retire, the pensions, they put all their money to the US to the stock market. So anytime you see these prices actually just lower, especially for the Nasdaq, make sure that you really buy from this market. Many of the companies, I think, been performing so good, especially to the earnings, the tech industries. So number one, you just take AI news is very important, tech earnings, and also the Fed rate cut, which is really happening right now. So for example, when you see the Fed is actually saying, we keep cutting the interest, they have been cutting the interest rate, and there's no shift to increase the interest rate. So you can see also the rate are keeping down. That's why you see the Fed from 3.75%. We have come from, I think we have so many months since the Fed actually hiked the interest rate, and that's why we are in the cutting shift. We are in the cutting direction. So the Fed is cutting the interest, reducing the interest rate. That's why you can see the Nasdaq is really moving up, unless maybe we get that shift. Once we get that shift and you get the lower prices, then it's the time for you now to start buying. Once you see the lower prices, the US30 is usually to sementuni old school. Yeah, US30 is a old school, and most of the US30 actually depends on how the economy is going. It's dependent more on economy performance. So if the US economy is not really that doing good, let's say for example dollar is not doing good, you're going to see it really slowing down, right? You're going to see it slowing down. So US30 is more dependent on the camp or the how the US economy is doing. I'm talking about the US stock indices. That is what we just really have to know. They own the school, but the best thing here, I think, the best thing to trade the indices is just one thing. This is the difference between the good thing about stock indices. One company can be performing bad, but at least when other companies are performing good, so at least you're going to get a stable. There's no time you're going to get the market crashing. unless maybe you're in the session where the whole market is really moving down, then that is the time you get the market or the stock indices crashing and moving towards the downside. But on this case here, you get at least some companies doing good. So what is happening to the gold is what you look at this. Okay, just look at this. That is what you're expecting. I'm expecting the next 15 minutes to see this candle closing down here, and then once we do that, we are going to confirm that indeed this market is really selling, right? So actually I think the Boeing actually been performing so good, especially to the earnings. I was following on that. So you see the Boeing actually performing so good. That is positive things to once. That is positive to once. The US 30 companies are really performing good. I've not heard from the Coca-Cola, because you can see Boeing, Coca-Cola, those are really old school. McDonald, yes. Those are very old. Visa, also the JP Morgan is inside. So the performance of these companies are actually placed inside the US 30. And that's what you see now, that's an old school. So that's why you see now, because now the dollar is not really performing well, people, economy, you see now those companies, although some are performing good, they are overwriting the band, how the economy is really doing, and that's what you see as US that is really averaging between 49 and not moving really up the other way around. Yeah, and as you see now, the demand for the tech industry is really moving up, the silver moving up, and now it's driving the Nasdaq towards all the way up and creating all the way highs. So if you are very smart enough, you could have actually bought the Nasdaq when the prices were really very low. So what do I expect from my US 30? Of course, US 30, once I see the lower prices below 49, I keep buying, because I know if it can survive this toughness right now, then of course it's going to follow how the Nasdaq has created, and around 26,000. Also, anytime US 30 actually might hit 50,000. 50,000 is good. So buying from the lowest side of 48, that is going to be a very smart move that you can make from that market. Right, so that's the difference, Nasdaq and the US 30. So in case maybe you are planning to buy, expect. Yes, that is the thing. That is the thing. Just brace yourself on that. So 15 minutes candle will be closing, then we have another one opening. So if you're watching this, ensure that you like this live. That's going to be very important, man. Hey, and also join us. So today I'm not entered in the trend. I'm just waiting for this so that I can have at least one trend. So if you are asked whether to buy from this market or sell, then sometimes I know we are going to buy from this market, right? This is Euro. This is Euro USD. So look at this, because at least 50% of retracement is around this area here, which is around here. So what I don't like doing is, for example, I come and buy from this zone here, and then some people will place their stop loss slightly below 68%, or maybe around that area there, and then you put your TP probably to the next high that market achieved at those zone. I could have done that, but you know, a market like this, high possibility of you losing that trend. It's just simple as that. The market moved down, covering here. We end a demand zone here, because you can see around this area here we got the market really moving very fast around this area. So we have so many Honda that were really being placed here. So I think this, we are smart money people. I think this can be an honor block around this area here. So we've got many Hondas being placed around here, and really market moving up. But likelihood loss, let me check something here. This market moving down is going to be very easy. That's why sometimes you lose the stop loss Once your stop market hit your stop loss, then of course you see what happening. The market really moving so very, very fast. Yeah, of course. So we are going to break that one. You're going to see the market breaking that zone. So if you're planning to buy, and I know so many people have identified that zone, probably preparing to buy around that area here. So I've not placed this saying I'm buying, but I'm showing you where so many people I might have placed their orders. But for me, no, that's not my entry point. Yeah, that's really very tempting. Huh? That's really very tempting. That area is very, very tempting. Very tempting. But I don't like it. So you can see how the Euro US gold is really doing from this. So from the gold from Nigeria, how are you doing? Time frames that you are using here are different time frames, and we are getting different things from the market. So different signals, different entry mode, different strategy. Yeah, so you have to be joining this frequently so that you may be able to understand our aim here and how we do just this one. So if you are scalper, you're going to benefit. If you're a day trader, you're going to benefit. If you're a swing trader, you're going to benefit from this. That's what we always ensure that we are doing, right? Wow, it's 1 p.m. The time is moving. Remember, today now there is a time we're waiting to see some good news coming up. The fund rate. What is happening? The CPI is up. Actually, I have done a class on how to get the CPI or the CPI CPI for this up and 3.8%. This I think has strengthened again the Audi. And remember also the Australian dollar is really performing so well. That is against the dollar. So if you check that pair properly, you're going to see that. So what I said about Dow Johnson's, the US 30, is that once you see the prices moving down below 49, I think that's a good opportunity for you now to buy. So let's see what is happening to the market in terms of the dollar for this. Although you can get this from the anyway, are we really in the ingrained mood for this? Let's see. Dow Johnson pre-market. Right now in the pre-market, we're in the pre-market. So I'll put this together here for the observations. So this is from the pre-market because the market has not opened. So we are getting this information from CNN right now is that there is a grain for the buy. So actually when the market opens, the Nasdaq has hit a new high. Let me come back. Let me get something. So we are here again. Boom. So what is happening to this currency? You can see we are getting the rejection towards the reason I'm saying the euro might actually be selling towards this one is because you can see on the upper side we are getting so much rejection every time the market is really trying to move. And the last candle we read, another candle just opening here. So let's see, the market has closed this down here, and you can see now we have the market is actually closing here. So this is a very big rejection that we got from this market 63. That sounds big. That sounds big, but anyway, I'm going to try and sell around 85. I'm going to sell around 85, so I'm getting everything ready here around 85 because the next one is going to take us to that 7, right? Next one is going to take us to 37, that place. Still observing, so as you can see it's just 1 hour close to this, and expecting this as well to see how it's going to move. Okay, that was really very tempting, but I can't enter that one. I know once the can you really buy these two? You buy Euro USD and then you sell gold. That cannot really happen most of the time, although the direction is not the same, but that is going to be a signed omission. So we're going to sell gold at least to this position here of 52. That is short term. I'm also be checking the how the USD. We are really moving. It's really happened that we have to do something. So let's see what pair is really performing, which pairs are really performing worse. Like let's say today, and today we think let's see the worst so that we can see the good combination that is moving up, so that we'll be able to spot at least a reversal from the market. So on day here we can get a combination of this is a really bad combination. Bad combination. Some bad combination. CHF, Canadian dollar. So if you go and look the strength of the CHF, you see a very big red candle that is moving down. So, but still we're going to check. Let's see. But these are really some bad combination. These pairs, they are not really major pairs. So we are still looking for entry. Today we have made nothing. 0 pips, but yesterday was gone. The whole of the week was gone. The last week was gone. So this is timing area. So, and I know the market is going to be slow at least up to 10 p.m. So might be getting that slowness at least until we get to the top of the hour. But I want to check this. I told you the Euro USD attempting to buy, but I can't buy. I already shared some reasons. So I want us to really observe that to see whether I was right or wrong, because it's really tempting. Was tempting to buy here. I want to see this market whether it's going to break this, right? Because I said once some people buy from this area or targeting all the way up, they end up eating the stop loss. It was very tempting. Sometimes you can have such entries, and also the gold as well is really tempting to buy from that zone here, especially where we are talking about here. Remember also we said about this area the market went to 77, so this was 69, 77. You can see how it is very easy to do these things. You see, if you are following me here, to scalp is very easy. And you're watching this, if you are not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe right now and hit that notification bell, because I give signals all the time We normally come live here to give you good goodies. Yeah, so that is how I'm expecting these prices to move. So my expectation is this area here, so from here all the way to this place, and then I'm not saying we are going to jump all the way up, but at least we can drop all the way to 38 before we do that. I'm expecting this to break. I'm expecting to break here, so I'm expecting a breakout. Once we touch that one again, once we touch this area here, I'm expecting a breakout. I'm expecting that. That area was very tempting to buy from that zone. I want to open another chart here so that we can see the performance for CHF and canned CHF, Swiss franc. So I'm expecting a very big bullish candle on this pair here. You can see this performance here, but we can start from the highest time frame as we are waiting for others. Let's see. Look at that recovery. What? Do you really see anything? Because I always go to the highest time frame until I see something. And do you see any? Look at this. What? It's a very big drop. It's a very big drop. Weekly, this market has been moving down from 0.077 up to 0.56. So that means if you bought here waiting for these prices to come back, then it means you bought around the year 2022, and now it is 3-4 years and the prices have never recovered to that zone. That is crazy. That's crazy. So you bought 2022 waiting for the prices to come back again all the way to that area, never come back. Do I spot an opportunity? Do you have really? Let's see. I don't think whether there's a pattern here. Do you have even a trend? Hakuna hata trend line hapa ina work. Don't we have even trend line that is working here? Because these are very strong, because from this spot acquiring these are here, and this is crazy. I think this might give us a correction move. This is good, and this must work. So if you compare between this spot here, number 1 and number 2, look at this. There's some people who've been making money with this pair here. You can't lack something. Always cause a kitu. At least you have something here. You have something here. We have something. Look at those touches. That makes this trend line very strong and very active. So you can't ignore that one. And actually it is on the weekly time frame. So that means from 2022, the market has been following this direction. So what do you have to say about this? Do you really have to say that, oh, you know, this trend line is fake? Look at that. This is a very straight line, actually, a very straight trend. But look at those touches. How many of them? How many? This makes it to be actually very strong. How the market has actually been performing specifically for this. And what makes you think that when this market hits that level is not going to move up? Although now we have so many touches, now for the level breakout can be very easy. But of course now, the only thing that you can look for this market, let's see whether we end this zone before. Where was this market? Because seems the price has been moving down with the years. There was time the price was around 1.2 and now we are around this area here. That means this pair has actually been losing a lot. What is happening? Swiss franc, what's happening, bro? What's happening? This is the lowest of the lowest of the lowest we are getting since 1982. Since 1982. That means if, this has been losing. So this is losing here. Oh. Hey, my goodness. Canada. Hey. This has been losing since 1982 and the prices are creating lower lows, as you can see from this market. Can you really trust this market? You can't trust this market with buys, eh? You can't. You can't trust this market with buying, eh? So we are here 82, so I'm going to enter position for the sell. That is what I'm going to do. And my stop loss, I'll see where I can place the stop loss. I don't trust, I don't know the confidence that I have for that, especially selling gold at this moment, but I'm going to help on this. So I'm going to sell at 84. Tunafanya na kutenda 84. What? We are in. I'm in. So what am I waiting to see from these prices? Number one, let me now highlight this because I already saw that 84. So I'm expecting to see these prices moving all the way here. And because we are new high, so let me see on my period here. The one that I have, where is it? So I've seen these prices is very low this weekly time frame. I'm waiting for this to launch, but I already entered at 52.84. This is very strong. Yes, this is on the weekly time frame. This trend is very strong, but this market, you can't trust the market that has been selling since 1982. The market has been creating low lows. You can't trust that market. I don't trust it. So no way I can trade this pair. No way. So 1982, I've already entered at 1980. What is it? 1980, 84. I entered at 84. Did you see that? That is what I'm talking about. So this is my entry point, exact pin. Let's see if this market passes from this point and we move to the TP. That will be sniper entry. Remember that. I'm waiting to see this market dropping as well towards this area here. But remember, today is another. So all my entries I'm going to really close very early, because I have to listen very carefully on what the friend has to say, what the Paul has to say about whatever is happening. I have to do something, because I know also Trump might come with some breaking news anytime from now. So let me share what I have here. What's the profit, how is running. Market loss. So I'm looking for the stop loss. So I'm looking for the stop loss on the top. 53.13. So 53.13. 53.20 is going to be my stop loss. I've not entered the Euro USD. We just analyzed that. Selling for the market that is, but we have to move with it. Remember, this is not a big entry. We are swing traders. We are swing traders, so most of our entries really does not really last that long. This is a small move from here to here. We really have to target hundreds of dollars. Yeah, I know there's some people who have existed right now, but at least let's see whether the market's going to break. We're going to move down, to that level. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the stop loss is going to be 51. Let's see whether this makes sense. I don't know whether that stop loss is really 42.33. 42, around 42.33, around 42.13. From the entry of 84, that will be 50. At least that will be almost 1-to-1. So the risk reward ratio is not that big. So our stop loss will be 53.30. So I'll be highlighting here. So what we have, my friend, just look at this. The price is moving down, and this is our entry point. That is going to be our TP, right? So I'm some pips down. The market is really doing good. It's only that I don't know where we might be ending with this. So to end now, let's move. Let's move. Wow, that is it. Now that is the price that we have, so we just wait for the market to hit the prices. Allow me to continue checking on this. So we have already that entry point that we have right there. That is one. So the Euro USD is trending around that area. That means we still slowing down. But remember, the entry that we have is for gold. So we entered and gold saddle around that zone. So we'll be checking and see what is going to be happening from that market. So this is it. So this was performing currencies pair right now. The dollar follows real time last closed. That is from yesterday's HF and USD last close 15 minutes 1 week. Okay, thank you. I want to move to 4-hour time frame, real time. Kindly, if you're watching this and if you're not subscribed, we all normally come live every day from 10 a.m. from 11 a.m. East African time. So this is the best opportunity. You subscribe and join us every day for live trading. So this is, we normally have a lot of fun when you're trading here live. Things are really so much interesting here. So Euro USD is touching those zones, so I'm expecting to see the prices dropping all the way down. I'm expecting it to move down. Alan Mwaswa, welcome. If this is your first time to be here, welcome, bro. Welcome. Karibu sana. Welcome to this space. Now, subscribe hapo chini. Make sure that you subscribe right now, and then you turn notification bell. There's a bell there. Ring it right now. We always training live on this. It's going to benefit you a lot. I'm following up on something so that I give you some updated news. So this is Euro USD, and let me check. This looks crazy. This looks crazy. This is the market's very fast right now. I know once you get to that point, really things might be changing from what we have right now. Once the market touches that point, I know the market is really going to try and move again. So let me check the orders, because I think they might have changed, so that at least we can reduce some position that we might be having from that point. But trust me, the market might be moving down. That is what we might be getting from here. So I'm going to minimize just a little bit. You guy, my guy, did you see that? Did you see that movement? Remember, now this becomes sniper entry because of absolutely by entering at 75 and now the price is below 70. That's definitely a sniper entry that we earned right from the market, and that's why this is interesting. And now, because now we are going to touch this, trust me, now the market is going to try and move up again. 69, the market is going to try and move up again. This is 69, the market is going to try and move up again from that area here, that 69. This market is really going to have some difficulties of breaking that zone here. That is the same thing that you can see happening to the Euro USD. It's really trying to break this zone very hard, but eventually might be breaking that area again. And that you see the same thing that is happening here. So that was a sniper entry as long at exact point where I just told you that I'm going to be selling that 84. So from 84 to 71, that is indeed amazing. Over $400 that I've made here with the $0.03, 0.3 lot size. So that is good one. That is amazing. But we can expect this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do one thing. I'm going to minimize the lot size that I have, so at least I can hunt the rest all the way down. That's why normally, that's why you can secure something here, because the market is really going to try and move up. You see this 70 mark here is going to be very important all the way here. So you can see we have 70, 69 here. These are the positions that are running. As you can see from my charts here, this is what is running around $400. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to at least reduce that by 50, the lot size by 50%. So 50% will be good, and that will be something $200. And because the market will try and move up, especially when we touch this, just look at that. That is something easy. That's easy. Okay, so already we have done that, so that when this market is going to move, I think we have other signs here. 2 p.m. in the next 20 minutes, I expect this candle, I expect this market to close slightly below 70, so that this market can end all the way to this place here. Or maybe the next candle that will be opening, that market will be that down. So that is what to expect from this market. It's really indeed very easy like that on how to trend this. You expect higher prices, but of course lower prices, but you have to be smart instead just of dealing with the prices moving up and down all the time. Just you can do that for the easy purposes. All right, yeah, but of course expect the movement all the way down there. So minimizing this, that is what I'm done. Shafanya is already, so I'm going to, I have already reduced this by 50%. You can see it is up already. 69, you can see these things are very easy, actually. Easy at start, easy. But eventually at the top of the hour, 20 minutes to 2 p.m, we might be getting these prices actually moving down. So I have partially closed some position, that is to reduce the loss size here. So we just give it now time to move. Also, let's see what we're going to be getting from this. That is half of the positions that we closed, half of it. So this is what we have on the market. So I'm going to put this here so that at least we can go through on what is happening. So number one, we have the Fed decision that is really coming up, which is formed. Rate decision and also the interview that will be coming up. The Australian CPI, that is the inflation, is up by 3.8%. We have already checked that one. Bank of Canada rates just coming up. Furniture press conference is coming up tonight, scheduled at 10 p.m. Bank of Japan minute signal further rate hikes. That is BGB. That is another interesting thing for the BGB. So if the BGB keep moving up, this is going to be really dangerous, because if the BGB is going to be up, interesting, and then the Fed is cutting the interest rate, of course what is going to happen is the market, the BGB USD GBP, hey my god, oh hey, what am I saying? GBP, the pound. So if the bank of pound, is it really pound here? So let me check. The Bank of Canada interest is decision. Actually, when was this? Because I think all this is really coming up tonight. We have the Canada rates, actually the overnight rate, and they are expecting to just make it the same, around 2.1% here. 2.25%. Really not banned. So today is on Wednesday. Let's see another one. So this week is really interesting. This week is interesting. So this is what we're talking about, the 3.8% from the Australian. That is really increasing so hard, and this was really positive, because if you look at pound USD now, you see the prices increasing. You see the bullish candles forming into the market, and that is another interesting thing that is really seeing from this market. What is about Japan? Tokyo call CPI. Is going to be getting that on Friday. See what is really happening from the market, right? Let's proceed with this. Did it really go, or what happened? So gold has already is recorded here as silver jumped 7.7% at the safe haven floors. So these are just brief that I'm just getting here. Bank of Canada interest rate decisions, SP 500 test 7,000 level. But remember also the JP Morgan predictions for the SP 500 to hit 7,500. I think we might hit even more target than that. We might actually get more prices than 7,500 at the end of the year. Because look at that, the prediction for the year for the gold was 5,000, but look at what we got right now is over 5,000, ending 53,000, and that is really crazy what we are really getting from this area here. Now market price out Fed rate cut today, hawkish on expectant, so like to high interest rate to move up. They are holding this, and I think it's not really a very good idea. Now this is the most important thing. US dollar weakens promptly on tariffs threat and obviously, remember Trump was actually threatening which country? Canada, of 100% tariffs, but I think he withheld that. So the crude oil inventories, that is what you check. So also make sure that when you're checking all these news, you don't avoid the crude oil news. So you see, I'm still expecting this market to break, and I know this is crazy if I say I'm still expecting these prices to come and move slightly lower than this one here. So what is happening with the crude oil? Let's see with the US oil prices. WTI oil $62, they're still going down. They're still moving down, but let's just keep observing these two, this and this, and then we'll come back to the place where you're going to analyze both. So this is Euro USD, and then I'm going to get gold on this zone. Woo! Hoo, 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 hoo. Hey! Ah! Woo! Hey! Hey! Where are you? 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 I told you the market will be very fast once we reach to that area here. Now look at what has really happened. Wow. Hey. Hey. Hey, 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 Jamani. Where is everyone? Hey, 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 hey. This is great. 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 Now we need to celebrate that. We have to celebrate that. That's what been amazing. That was good. That was amazing. So around here, because now the market has already, we actually eat 850 coffee. That was really amazing, specifically for the gold. He has managed to hit the area that we are TP hit, and that was very amazing. So that is what was actually the exit point. This is 37, and the TP is 8. I told you this is really going to happen. That is, so that was actually a sniper entry. So you cannot tell me that was a sniper entry. 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 I told you this position here was tempting, and it was telling us, you know, buy, and that was really crazy. Now the market has really moved so fast, but I hope once we get back to 52, that one, we are going to reverse with it and buy again once the market touches that one. But you can see already we have closed the positions with the TP hit. So very nice. That was very good though. The only thing that is remaining is actually the Euro USD, and I don't know where the Euro USD is right now, because I'm trying to get the Euro USD, see whether where is the Euro USD. We're waiting for you to break that zone as well. So where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where is the Euro USD? The Euro USD is at that is actually almost to break the zone that we are talking about. But for the gold TP hit, that is enough. But once the market actually comes back to the position that you're waiting for, probably you might be finding another entry that is going to be happening. So those are so many pips actually, and you can see, although I just closed partially, that was really nice. That's what really nice for me. $1,000 today is really good. $1,000 is good, is good. We end. That was sniper entry. Look at this, sniper entry, and this is just one reason to tell you that you actually have to be joining this free, because that was a perfect signal here. Remember this, we bought from this candle here exactly at this position here of 84. The market just went slightly 85, and you can see what we have got here. Good move, very fast and easy. Guys, this is amazing. And that is the power of the gold. You can achieve this result within shortest time as possible. So the Euro USD, of course, you know, the gold is more volatile compared to the gold. So I think now the only remaining part is this one. So look at this. This is what the breakout I'm expecting as well to get from the Euro USD. That's why we are trending this. That's why I wrote here and I said that I'm expecting the breakout to happen from this market, from this point. This can happen anytime, so this can happen anytime also for the Euro USD, but the prices will, I did not actually enter any position for the Euro USD, so that is really amazing. But for the gold, Hey, sniper from sniper entry. Guys, we are the best. We are the best. So if you enter that position with me, let me just know in the chat if you end that position right, because that was really good, very fast. So the Euro USD, I don't know where it's going to be moving after that, because already the positions are right here. Oh my goodness, what's that really happened here? Now you can see the reason now we have closed very fast is because of a very quick reversal, rejection towards the downside, and now we are closed. The TP hit, that is from 84 all the way to 38, so that is $50 move for the gold. If you really take those pips, there's so many pips there, like, yeah, these are so many points. So 100 points times 50 is 50,000. 50, what is 50 times 100? 5,000 points. So those are in terms of pips, those are 500 pips. That's amazing. 500 pips gathered already this morning on the prices of gold to sell all the way to this point. Now after these prices hitting this, you can see there are so many people who are waiting for this market to touch this level of 52.9, and now the market is really jumping all the way from that area. Now we might be getting now these prices going all the way to the new high that can be created from that market. So you can be expecting a new high to be created on this market. That is the price of gold. Wow, guys, that is enough for today. I'm going to analyze this on my own, probably find some good entries, maybe another one. That was the first one for today. Today we just needed that, and I think everything is now all right. Now we just give the market time. I'm waiting to see the fund, how they're going to be doing with this information, because that as well is going to be very important. Now with the TP hit, I know I just closed this manually, although our target was 51, that one here. But because I know with that quick how the market moved quickly here, of course we end to close very, very early. We end to close at exactly this zone that we have here, and that was TP hit for the day. So that was very quick, and that was really amazing. So on the highest time frame as well, we'll be checking on that. So tomorrow, again being on Friday, we'll be reviewing. And also remember, also today, actually today we might be going live, especially from 8 p.m. to listen and analyze what is really happening in the US, because this is very important. This is a very crucial time for us to be a trader. This is the crucial information that you really have to know from the market. So this is really interesting, right? So it's very important for us now to know this information. Guys, if you're watching this, ensure that you subscribe, like, and share these videos. And I'll see you again tomorrow. That is a TP hit. We'll see you again tomorrow for the fresh analysis for the currencies. Keep observing the prices for. We have remained with the Euro USD. That is the only one that is remaining, and the Euro USD is trending exactly at this position here. So I want you to look for the breakout, whether you're going to be getting a breakout too at this level here. It's very likely, because already we got so many orders at this level here. So breakout towards downside is going to be likely for this pair of the Euro USD, and once you get that one, just know the market is going to move quickly all the way to 1.18. But in case that does not happen today at 10 p.m, expect maybe surprise or something. I know they have to say something positive, at least to save the dollar that is moving. Something has to happen. So I will see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. East African time. That is it. If you love this, then sure that you follow me as well on all social media platform at Dan Aurex. Dan Aurex. You understand that the time we are trading gold, we are Dan Aurex. Just search the meaning, you get it. Peace.